Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in this amazing world. This free training is for any coach out there who is either brand new or maybe you have struggled to have an amazing launch, whether it's a website launch, a program, and you are saying to yourself, what am I doing wrong? I'm here with my webmaster and the designer of our Done For You websites and also my pages, Sonja Bannon. You want to introduce yourself quick before we dive into today's topic?
Sure. I'm Sonja Bannon, owner of Daring Design Company Studio, and I've been working with Rachel for the last 4 years. I'm sorry, 4 launches is nothing. I think 4,000 launches. We've done multi-figure launches together, and I've also helped other clients and customers to launch their programs and websites. So this is not our first rodeo. So let's talk about it.
And we were even talking, guys, before we started doing this, we have, with other clients, done 5-figure launches, taking them from brick and mortar to completely online, memberships, everything. So no matter what stage you are, this is essential for everyone. What we're going to talk about is something that I created a long time ago because I struggled. I didn't have money for Facebook ads, and many people do not. So this 2 and 2 and 2 method is really important, especially for new coaches or even for anyone that does not have a list. What we're going to talk about in today's training, which is the first of a series, because we know many of you want to launch in September. Many of you are graduating school. Drop in the comments so we can come back and reply to you what stage you are in your business. We want to talk about how do you actually build this like, know, and trust factor, because you're all seeing things like list build, do a webinar, an evergreen webinar, all these different strategies. And I just want to break it down on what is realistic as a new coach. So Sonja, do you want to talk about first, from your perspective as a webmaster and landing pages, what is really essential when you're building that like, know, and trust factor?
The most essential part is to be able to collect emails. And to do that, you have several tools, but we're not going to go into tools. You need to have a system to collect emails, because your emails is what is going to bring money into your bank. But before you can collect emails, you need to be known. Who are you? Where are you?
Because
it's like
drop a 1. How many of you have an email marketing system and nobody is clicking over? So right. That's what we're even going to talk about, because so many of you, whether it's ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailerLite, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Ontraport, Kartra, Kajabi. Back in the day, there was MailChimp.
MailChimp, that's it.
That was it. And still, Mark Hyman is still on MailChimp. So we want to go back to the old school days of building that like, know, and trust factor and really defining. So in the first 2 parts, the 2, 2, and 2 method, this means that people actually have to know what you do. They've got to start liking you, and they've got to start trusting you before they give you their email. It's not that, especially in a saturated world where everyone has a challenge, everyone's doing masterclasses, everyone's not you, but in a world where the digital market has, pictures left and right on Instagram and infographics, you have to stand out. So step number 1, you have to know what you teach that is different from anyone else. And that means building your content around that. So one of the things that I love, and Sonja said, before we even build a list, how do you do that without getting overwhelmed in tech? One of my favorite things is to sit there and say, okay, I want to be known for this niche. And I'm going to teach these pillars, these concepts that make me different. For example, if my niche is weight loss, am I just going to say, oh, I want people to lose weight and feel happy and be able to get in their skinny jeans? Well, you can say that and be like everyone else and then constantly feel failure, or you can really separate yourself and say, do I believe in this pillar of intermittent fasting? Is it about insulin resistance? Am I connecting this to hormones? Am I connecting this gut? And those are 4 signature topics. Those are 4 elements that separate you from what everyone else is saying. Or maybe it's emotional eating. Maybe it's your signature process of stress eating, and really starting to break down and to start to test it. So, Sonja, give me some examples in your perspective from from what you would suggest for a person to kind of get out there without a list, without even building a list.
Okay, so you're in a world full of billions of people. Everybody's online, and you gotta keep going there. You gotta choose 1 or 2 channels that you want to master. That's it. Don't go on Twitter. Don't go on LinkedIn. Don't go on all of them. Choose 1 or 2. If YouTube is your channel of choice, do it every day, several times a day. It doesn't have to be long. And don't worry about repeating yourself, because you don't know where your future customer might come from. They might see your first video, they might see your number 237 video, but if you don't repeat yourself, they don't know what you're about. So repeat yourself without being, just a machine, but take 1 subject or 2 or 3 or 4, like Rachel suggested, and hone onto it.
Break them down.
Yes.
One of the things that I always suggest, guys, and this is a no-cost way, is in today's world, there are lives. So I'm not saying that you should put all your eggs in one basket on Facebook. But if you did 1 Facebook Live, say on your personal page, I never suggest to make your personal page a sales page. That's not what Facebook is about. But the truth is, many of you come out of school, people are not landing on your business page. People are not landing on your blog because you haven't built up that presence. You haven't built up great SEO pages, which Sonja does really well on my site. You haven't built your presence enough that when somebody Googles, they find a YouTube video, because you haven't been doing it. So take that time to build that like, know, and trust factor on your personal page. Go live consistently. Say, you know what, for the next 2 weeks, which is that 2 model, start asking people, day 1, what are you guys struggling with? I know I'm struggling with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's been really hard for me to not stress eat, because right now I'm feeling a lot of, uncertainty, or whatever relates to your life, whatever is your personal experience, whatever is your why as a coach, and of course, relate it to your niche and make it a problem and a solution. Because Facebook and social media is not a diary. It's for people to connect with us. That's the like. The trust is that they trust that if I say, yeah, I was having some viral issues and some autoimmune, this is one of my trusted companies. If I consistently show up with lives and people know that, wow, I can trust this girl. I've seen so many other people that, always just show up and teach just a lot, but I don't really connect with them on a personal level. It's really hard then to convert. So always include some element of your life. Doesn't mean that you have to share everything, but you do have to share some aspect that is relatable. And make sure that each day you're sharing a tip. Doesn't have to be 20, and it shouldn't be 20, because people have a tough time digesting so much information. So ask questions, then start sharing over like a week and watch which topic gets the most engagement. Maybe it's an essential oil. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's your favorite lemon water, your favorite juice. Maybe it's that you don't like juicing, and so you use a juice powder. Whatever is relative to your niche. And if you really struggle with just what we call riffing, get a PowerPoint, get a freebie and actually say to people, hey guys, you know what? I'm going to go live and I'm actually reading off this PowerPoint and I'm reading off this free guide because I want to make sure that you guys have information that is, that is not only valuable information, but that is trustworthy information in a world of misinformation, because I became a coach because I struggled so hard to find information about 1, 2, 3. Right. And so when you start to build that presence and get comfortable also with speaking, get comfortable with infusing, a personal story, which is called a micro story, the problem, the solution, people start saying in that 2-week period, plus you're looking at the engagement. People are starting to ask questions under, write those down, because that is the most valuable content. You can hire people to look at Google Analytics. You can hire people in Facebook for marketing. But when you get used to looking at what people are asking and ask high mileage questions like, hey, what's your biggest struggle right now? Overeating, weight, fitness, exercise. You can ask all those different questions, which are really different niches, as long as you relate it always back to what you want to be known for and who you help, then you're never going to confuse your ideal client. So to recap this, sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to hold myself accountable to going live every day. And if you want to take it to another level, download that live from desktop and you can upload that to YouTube. You can upload that to IGTV. You can take that over to a blog because you've uploaded that to YouTube and you can actually put the video onto a blog. You can actually put a social media image and share that to Pinterest. And you can actually tweet that from a blog. And just in one video, in one blog, you have been able to, in 1 hour a day, dominate social media, just like Gary Vaynerchuk says. And that is how women like myself, who started a business with babies, and Sonja, who we both started a business with very young children, were able to build businesses, even though there were times where it was hard, and times where we felt tired, and times where we would have wow moments with each other. We made it possible because we were really, really smart with our time and really smart about where we invested our time. Sonja, do you want to leave any, do you want to add anything about maybe something that you see people make a mistake when it comes to launching without doing kind of this testing, this like pre-testing,
right,
like no trust factor?
Right. What I see a lot of people believe is that because your program and your website is up, it's pretty, it's great, people will come. And this cannot be further from the truth. You can have the most beautiful sales page, the most beautiful landing page. People are not going to come if they don't know who you are and where to find you. So the majority of your time needs to be spent consistently online. Choose one channel or 2 max and just do it. Even Gary Vaynerchuk said the first year and a half of his wine business, nobody even watched his YouTube videos. So it's not because you don't have one little like or one little recognition that you should stop, because you will see after a while, you will gain a lot of experience. And of course, the first one's going to be sucky and expect to be sucky. And who cares? Who cares?
Action.
Yeah, look at Rachel's YouTube videos 4 years ago. She was very sick. I mean, she did her best. She was talking like a machine. And now you see after 4 years, she's a master at it. So do it. The only thing is mastery comes with skills and experience. So this needs to be a second to none. Every day you need to show up, even if it's for 2 minutes, show up.
Yep. I love that. And we will just close with this is I wish there was this one blueprint. And I know everyone downloads a blueprint and we all think that it's going to come off this perfect map. In business, and I was just saying this to one of the directors at FDN, which is one of my favorite schools yesterday, I said, I think the biggest problem in the health and wellness industry is we need to understand business. We need to understand sales. It doesn't mean that we need to be salesy, but we do need to understand the elements of business building and know that business building is not perfect, just like our health. There wasn't a perfect protocol for any of us. There wasn't this one supplement, this one book, this one pill, this one anything. That's why we all became coaches, because we searched. And so when you're thinking about your launch, this is the individual launch, because each one of you attract different types of people. And so I really encourage you to be willing, if something's not working, if you're like, but I thought this niche was right, let go of it. It may be that people see you for something else. And we'll dive into that on another time, but just be willing to start asking these high mileage questions, because it will give you so much insight and it will save so much struggle. And the other part is that I've been talking about this a lot in my membership and just a lot in general. Many of you are depending so much on social media. Take the time to reach out to people who already know you, like you, trust you, believe in you, friends that will even, give shout outs on Facebook, people that are, your own doctors, your own acupuncturists, massage therapists, people who are wanting to interview you, and start to build that like, know, and trust factor with people who already have lists. That's a referral base. And it's really shocking how fast you can build. And we'll talk about that again on another day. For this week, focus on writing down what you're going to do for the next 7 days. Just commit to a topic a day. No fear, imperfect action, and make sure to tag under here, because we're going to give you a little gift if you do it. All right, guys, if you have any questions where to find us, you can go to yourhealthcoachbiz.com. Also, you can go to daringdesign.co. And then the last one, go and check out the podcast at rachelafeldman.com. There's so many coaches. There's so many service providers. Just to hear people's stories, guys, it just can give us that oomph that we need when we want to quit and we want to pull our hair out, to just say, okay, that's it. I'm going to keep moving forward. So guys, get yourself, put your big girl panties on, your big boy boxers. It's going to be okay. Have a deep breath and let's do it. And with that being said, we will see you guys later. Mwah! Bye, guys.